It is morning in Los Angeles and it is morning in America. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and today is Tuesday, September the 29th, and this is my morning political thought. Of course, let's get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way. For those of you who don't know, the housekeeping is just the social media stuff and the side news stories. So, thepurpleelephantShow.com is the main podcasting platform. You can find all of the Purple Elephant Show episodes there on thepurpleelephantShow.com. If you want to follow any of the social media, The Purple Elephant Show on Parler, on Instagram, facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show, on Twitter, at RealTPES. And if you are watching this on BitChute, Dailymotion, or YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you will know when I upload new videos for this. And as I've always said before, my morning political thought is a supplement to the Purple Elephant Show, which is a weekend show. All right, now on to the side news. And I'm looking at, every time, this is my new thing now, looking at my notes. And like I said yesterday, I feel like I'm in church reading the announcements. All right, first thing, we're looking at moving or closing our embassy in Baghdad, in Iraq, because there have been constant attacks on the embassy by rockets and other things. The President Trump's administration is accusing Iran of using proxies to constantly attack the American embassy or U.S. embassy in Baghdad. So since it's been going on, President Trump has told Iraq, hey, if you don't help us get this under control, we're just going to go ahead and close our U.S. embassy in Baghdad. So we're looking at doing that now. Honestly, I wish we weren't in the Middle East, period, but I'm not president, so it doesn't matter. All right, on to more side news. There's a lawsuit in Texas right now. It seems that the largest county in Texas, which is Harris County, they are approving voter registration for people who are illegal. And even when they say that they're a non-citizen on the registration, it still gets approved. Now, this has happened to about, it says, a dozen or more people, which isn't a lot, but that isn't the point. The point is that there's something there and non-citizens are being given the right to vote in Harris County. Now, it was discovered by the Public Interest Legal Foundation, and actually it's dozens with an S of examples in Harris County. And for those of you who don't know about Harris County holds the great city of Houston, Texas. So that's what's going on with that. On top of that, speaking of issues with voting, President Trump and his legal team have been suing several states in regards to the states changing the election rules right before the election. And those states are North Carolina, Montana, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and then also some counties in Iowa. Now, for the suit that was against some of the counties in Iowa, President Trump won that suit. For Nevada, a federal judge tossed it out. The judge had said the claims that were being made by President Trump's legal team were speculative. So the federal judge in Nevada tossed out the case. So now you're up to speed on that with the legal stuff and election interference, as I call it. But I already knew this was going to happen anyway. For the China Wuhan virus, as you know, yesterday, President Trump made an announcement. The Trump administration will be sending more tests out. These will be the rapid tests. That way people will be able to know in a quicker amount of time if they have been infected by the China Wuhan virus. They're sending out 150 million rapid tests all across the U.S. to make sure people have the testing that they need. Now, also, I'm sure you heard about the swinging back to Texas briefly. I'm sure you heard about The brain-eating amoeba is in the drinking water. The governor of Texas has declared a state of emergency. They are handling it, but yes, a little boy had died. He had had headaches and so forth for a few months, and then later on, sadly, he passed away. And now it's found out that the drinking water in one of the cities in Texas is contaminated. I didn't pull the city, but I know that there was a state of emergency declared because of it by Governor Abbott of Texas. So now you're up to speed on that. Outside of the United States, there is a little bit of a skirmish going on between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, or Azerbaijan, however you want to pronounce it. I guess everyone, you say tomato, I say tomato. They're having a disagreement. Azerbaijan has about a population of 9 million people. Armenia has a population a little over 2 million. Armenia is right next to Turkey, and Azerbaijan is right next to Armenia. Azerbaijan and Armenia are not getting along. It has turned from cold to hot, where there's been fire going on between the two countries. Turkey, and this is the thing with supporting countries. It's almost like how if something were to happen to Taiwan, let's say China attacked Taiwan, the United States is pretty much obligated to go and assist Taiwan. And the same thing where if North Korea was attacked, China is pretty much obligated to assist North Korea. Well, with Armenia and Azerbaijan, Armenia is supported by Russia, which Armenia is considered a Christian country, which is more than likely why Russia supports it versus some of the other countries. Not saying that Russia has anything against Muslims, but if they had to choose one, it's obvious what they're choosing. So Russia supports Armenia. Turkey supports Azerbaijan, which is weird because, as I said before, Armenia is to the right of Turkey, and then Azerbaijan is to the right of Armenia, and the country of Georgia is right above Armenia as well. It's a delicate situation because it could drag other countries into the mix. They're saying that this area is Eastern Europe. It's the Middle East. I don't know why, because when I was reading the article, they're like the far part of Eastern Europe. And I'm like, Eastern Europe? This is the Middle East. But yeah, because there are other countries that could get involved, like Syria, and it's right near Iraq, and so on and so forth. The United States is hoping that things will calm down and not that a hornet's nest won't be kicked. So everyone's just hoping that the temperature will just lower just a little bit, but that's a little skirmish internationally that's going on right now. As long as it doesn't escalate, it shouldn't affect the United States. But if it does escalate, then if Russia gets involved, if Turkey gets involved, if Syria gets involved, and with Armenia being a Christian nation, then it might be a free-for-all. But honestly, I'm not picking up the vibe that it's going to escalate too much, where it's going to spin out of control. That's just me. All right. Another thing. Democrats are refusing to meet with Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett, which this isn't a surprise. When Merrick Garland was nominated by former President Obama, Republicans weren't looking to meet with him either. I don't know why the news media makes this such a big deal when one party doesn't agree to meet with the Supreme Court nominee. It doesn't matter. Either the votes are there or the votes aren't there. Meeting or not meeting, it doesn't mean anything. It only means something to the party who has the votes. The party that has the votes right now are the Republicans. So the only people meeting her right now that count are the Republicans. Democrats are not going to vote for her. There's not even Joe Manchin, who is a Democrat, but sometimes, more times than not, he sides with the Republicans on some things because of the area that he represents. But even he said he's not voting for Amy Coney Barrett. So no one cares. But I'm telling you because it's considered news. Side news. All right. General Flynn. So now the attorneys of General Flynn are going back to that it was pretty much a setup with everything that happened. Sidney Powell was able to get more documents released. The documents that came out talking about the FBI are showing what the FBI was saying while investigating General Flynn in the whole Crossfire Hurricane thing. That was because of Sidney Powell. That wasn't because of anything else anyone had did. If Judge Sullivan had just let this go, and for those who are coming in on the tail end of this, here are the Cliff Notes version. General Flynn was set up. Sidney Powell took up his case. Finally, the appeals court, finally the DOJ said they're not going to prosecute. The Judge Sullivan said, no, we're going to keep on going. It went to the appeals court with 3 people sitting on the appeals court. The appeals court said, you can't do that. You don't have a prosecutor, yada, yada, yada. And then everything was thrown out. Judge Sullivan could not let it lie and stay there. So he's like, I want the full appeals court to review it. So the full appeals court, which are 10 judges that sit on the full appeals court, and then with the 10 judges, it was an 8-2 decision, if I'm not mistaken. You can look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was an 8-2 decision. They said, no, the case can keep going, is what happened. So then General Flynn got thrown back into limbo. Then Sidney Powell had to request more documents, and because obviously discovery. Well, in the midst of requesting those documents, we found out that some FBI agents were saying, hey, I'm taking out professional liability insurance because what we're doing is crooked. They didn't say crooked, but in more words or less, that's what they were implying, that this just doesn't look right. This just doesn't feel right. And there are more documents to come. Rick Grinnell, who was the former director of national intelligence and also the former ambassador to Germany, he has said that there are other intelligence agencies that have documents that can basically vindicate General Flynn, President Trump, and everybody. And Rick Grinnell is saying those intelligence agencies need to go ahead and release those documents. That is what Rick Grinnell has said. He said it twice yesterday. He said it on the Evening Edit, and then also I believe he said it on Hannity too as well. But I know he said it on 2 shows yesterday where we have other intelligence agencies. They have documents that would vindicate General Flynn and President Trump. And he's like, they need to go ahead and release those documents. Obviously, Rick Grinnell being the former director of national intelligence, which is over the whole thing, he's already seen all of those documents. He knows who has what. He can't tell us what they are because the documents are still classified. If I were President Trump, the president has the right to declassify anything he wants. I just be like, here, declassify it and be done with it. But I think President Trump is up to something else. I don't know what his game plan is, but I feel like there's a plan there later on. Also, another thing that was mentioned, and in this I'm doing from memory because I didn't take the notes on it. It's related to the John Durham bill. Oh, now I know what it was. Related to the Senate. Durham and Barr were kind of on the fence with the whole Senate thing because they were afraid that it would affect John Durham's investigation. So with releasing documents to the Senate, they didn't want the Senate to take those documents, release them, or make them public during any hearings. And by the Senate, meaning Lindsey Graham and his crew, to make those public and question Comey, which Comey is up for a hearing, I think this week, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it's probably this week. And other people who were going to come before the Senate. And Bill Barr and John Durham didn't really want those documents to go to the Senate because they were afraid that it's going to affect their investigation, which has now continued to expand because, as I mentioned before, the Clinton Foundation is being looked at, but anybody with a brain, two eyes, and ears knows that that was a money laundering scheme and other things happening throughout other countries. So that was happening too. All right. And that is all I have on the side news. Now, let's get to the morning political thought. Got that stuff out of the way. There is a song, for those of you who may not listen to R&B. There's a song by a singer. Actually, she passed away this year. And she's an amazing, amazing singer. And or was an amazing singer. Her name is Betty Wright. And one of her famous songs was called Tonight is the Night. And if you listen to the song, she was explaining how she first sang the lyrics, the song to her mother. And Betty Wright grew up in the church. And then she was talking about how her mother, after listening to the lyrics of the song, and this was back a long time ago, Tonight is the Night came out in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And her mother was like, it's a nice song, but I know you're not going to sing that. What the song was about was the first time. And by the first time, I'm trying to keep this family friendly. The first time. So, but it's an amazing song. The reason I think of that song is because the first time, that's a big deal. For tonight is the night. The first time Joe Biden and President Trump come face to face or face the mask, depending on what Joe Biden is doing. He might wear his mask during the debate, the virtue signal. Who knows? But I'm ready to see what will happen. Some people are saying it's still not going to happen. President Trump still wants a drug test. And they're having the debate at a medical facility, which I don't know why they're having a debate at a medical facility. But, okay, we'll go along with it. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden will not do a drug test. President Trump said he's willing to do a drug test, and I don't think he's bluffing either, because he doesn't seem like the type to bluff that often. I'm not saying that he won't bluff. He just doesn't seem like the type to bluff that often. And he said he still wants to do a drug test to see if Joe is on anything before the debate. And he may even bring that up during the debate. The plan seems to be on the Biden end to just attack Trump, attack Trump, attack Trump, attack Trump. And obviously they're going to bring up the taxes. Again, nobody cares. No one cares. We really don't care at all. Great economy, taxes. Great economy, taxes. Okay. But Christie and Rudy Giuliani were with President Trump the other day during the press conference. And they were there when President Trump was talking, and he had said that they were helping with the prep and stuff. And Rudy Giuliani was on Fox and Friends this morning too, as well, talking about they were helping with the prep. I really, really hope that if and when President Trump wins his second term, I want Christie in the Trump administration. If Christie would have been in the Trump administration, they wouldn't have had half the issues they would have had. But because of Jared Kushner, and I told you, I still don't like Jared Kushner. I don't care how many good deeds he has done. There's something about him. I can't put my finger on it. Check out my episode. Dear Tucker Carlson, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one, or whatever the title of that episode was. I can't put my finger on it. There's something about Jared Kushner I just don't like. But one thing I know for a fact is that Jared Kushner had a big say in Christie not coming in to the Trump administration. One reason, because Christie prosecuted Jared Kushner's father, which he needs to get over it. It is what it is. As for tonight's debate, I am confident that this will be one of the most highest rated televised shows of all time, if not the most highest rated, possibly higher than the Super Bowl. People are placing bets. Sports companies are placing bets. They're betting on whether they're going to shake hands or do anything. They're betting on all types of stuff. People are doing drinking games on how many times President Trump may say fake news or Sleepy Joe or this or that. There's a $50,000 pool to split, $25,000 pools to split. There's all types of stuff going on. This is bigger than any Super Bowl. This is bigger than any Tyson fight when Tyson was in his prime, even though Tyson is great now. I don't think many people would still want to fight Tyson now. If you've seen Tyson lately. Tyson is just raw. But I don't see anyone not watching this debate tonight. I think everyone, not just in the United States, because it's going to be streamed on YouTube, it's going to be on regular television as well. It wouldn't surprise me worldwide, and I'm going to call it now. It wouldn't surprise me worldwide if they had 100 million views worldwide. It wouldn't surprise me. US, if I had to place a bet for how many people will be watching US, I'd probably say 75 million. That might be a little too high, because you have to think, some people might get together, families of 4 or 5 or friends might get together and have a watching party. So, you know what? I'm going to say 50 to 60 million US watching. 100 million minimum worldwide watching is what I'm thinking. Everyone wants to see this debate. And I'm confident that the ratings are going to be through the roof. Do I think President Trump will hit it out the park? He's got a good chance. I'm not sure what Joe Biden is doing, because Joe Biden could be playing possum. I'm not going to put it past him. I'm not going to put it past him to do the gaffes that he's done and then tonight just come out swinging, debate-wise. Chances are low that will happen, but not impossible. So don't think that President Trump has it in the bag, even though I will say President Trump doesn't have to hold back as much with Joe Biden as he did with Hillary Clinton. And now, because of all of the stuff that has come out about Hunter Biden, about how corrupt Crossfire Hurricane was, about the other corruption within the deep state, part of me feels that President Trump is looking for a place to vent that anger, and Joe Biden might be the target. Obviously, he goes in, President Trump goes in on the media all the time. That's light work. But to have one specific target to go after for an hour and 30 minutes, which I don't know why it wasn't 2 hours. I think it's an hour and 30 minutes, 9 to 10:30. Still don't get. Which President Trump was willing to do 4 hours. President Trump did accept the invitation by, I believe his name was Tim Kennedy, to go on, or the suggestion to go on the Joe Rogan podcast and do a 4-hour debate, just him and Joe Biden, and Joe Rogan would be the moderator. President Trump accepted that. So if the debate was 4 hours, President Trump would do 4 hours. And I'm confident he could do it easily. But for that hour and 30 minutes, I feel that will be the opportunity for President Trump to get a lot off of his chest. And I hope he does it. I hope he goes in on Joe Biden and everything that President Obama did. Because don't forget, with Flynn, the case was closed with the FBI. They had closed the case on the 302. They said, and for those of you who don't know who a 302 is, let me bring you up to speed briefly on that. 302 is the document that the FBI has to fill out after doing interviews. Usually the 302 has to be filled out within about 5 days. I think no more than 10. But it's a document and it's handwritten. Why they still do handwritten 302s is beyond my comprehension, but I don't run the FBI, so not my monkey, not my circus. But the 302 had said Flynn did not lie. The case was in the process of being closed out. But then it went to Comey. Comey went to Obama and Joe Biden. Then they reopened the case. All of that happened. So there's a ton of things that have happened over the years that President Trump can bring up. And he has a target. And his target will be in front of him tonight. And that is my morning political thought. Tonight is the night. Thank you, everyone who's been supporting. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to doing another morning political thought tomorrow. ThePurpleElephantShow.com for the main podcasting platform. Until next time, be blessed.